Hello there, I'm Satsunami, a variety streamer on Twitch. Recently I've been playing games like Red Dead Redemption 2, Fall Guys, and the widely beloved Sonic 06. If that sounds like your cup of tea, then you can find me on Twitch, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube under the name Satsunami42. As always, stay safe, stay awesome, and most importantly, stay hydrated. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to kind of look through just the chat. So Green Shield, you had said earlier, when did you most recently play? Yeah, that was probably before lockdown, where we had got together, we had kind of a short session. Yeah, it was that idea that because like we couldn't get everyone together, and then by the time like everyone was able to get together, current events happened, and yeah, it was not a fun time. It really wasn't a fun time. Um, so yeah, we have to. Well, we have to. I have to try and get like a session started,
That would
or
be good. Back into it.
restarted. Yeah. So Blowfish Man was saying how a friend of his was playing as a grung in his campaign, the frog people.
Little frogs, yeah, that's
Yeah,
brilliant.
it's such a good race though to play. Like I think I only played them as NPCs, but yeah, it would be cool to like get more of them in. It's quite actually interesting. I don't know if you're reading the chat as well, but I'm looking at like a lot of people are saying like their very first characters. That's quite interesting.
Mm,
So Blowfish Man is saying my first guy was a dragonborn barbarian. I remember you telling me about that. It's
that's awesome.
yeah. S Bank saying that he went a playing human fighter for his first character, but ended up great. Yeah, you saved our ass quite a few times. I'm not gonna lie. Marta saying I was a rogue and a dwarf sometimes. And Blowfish Man, I'm actually curious to see what you think of this actually. He's saying that human fighters may sound bland, but for real they're the most customizable.
100%,
Yeah.
especially in 5e. Like, they've really beefed them up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think they're they're actually like people think they're gonna be like the basic kind of class, like you go in and just play them, and you
Mm-hmm.
can just play them like that. But they've got so many little tweaks, and then
Mm-hmm.
especially now with all the subclasses, I think they're one of the best classes. Honestly, like they've got so much on it.
Yeah. No, definitely. I mean, I remember when you'd first said, like, do you want to play D&D? And I kind of debated about just going a human. And I think that is kind of the default, is like, if
Always,
you're
yeah.
unsure, you're like, oh, just go. It's like, if you're unsure, just go human. You'll be fine, And it is, but at the same time, it's like so kind of flexible. And I think that is just the running theme and the word of the day. But yeah, it's like, yeah, it's so flexible. Let's see. So yeah, S-Bank saying now he's a Goliath sorcerer. Yeah, so it's like you don't have to like continually go like a human. You can you can evolve. So if you want to be like a huge war machine, yeah, go Goliath because they
And
are.
there's a fun kind of thing as well with the classes where like you can do ones that sound like they should mix. You know, like a half orc barbarian is like, yeah, of course he's big, he's dumb, and he's gonna hit really
Yeah,
hard. But you can also do these things where you flip the stereotypes on the head and do like
yeah,
um the sorcerer Goliath, which is really funny. You know,
yeah,
it's a massive guy who's weak as hell but cast magic spells. It's incredible.
yeah. I know there's so many. Like, I mean, and again, like even for story or just kind of role playing purposes. In fact, sorry, before like we kind of finish up, I've got a question for you.
Oh yeah,
What would you say is more important in D&D? Would you say it is the role playing aspect or the core gameplay?
I'd say that's a so as a DM, I say that's a question you have to have with your players.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it's always been roleplay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's the thing I like. But there's a lot of people play D&D just for the rules, like just to play the combat.
Yeah,
People that have kind of followed D&D, this, you get the different editions of Dungeons and Dragons. Dungeons
yeah,
and Dragons 4, but wasn't a million miles away from like a war game, like a tabletop war game.
mm-hmm.
There are tons of rules, while D&D 5 went, I will get rid of a lot of the rules.
yeah.
Um, One tool that I see quite a lot is really cool is like it's like called like the Session Zero plan or the same Session Zero or something it's called.
All right.
I'll dig that out and put it in the Discord. But that's really good for getting everyone thinking the same. I actually sent it out to you guys originally, and it's just like, do you like combat? Yes or no. Do you like this? Yes or no. And the idea is trying to get everyone on the same page because yeah, I love the role playing side, but if everyone wants to play combat, then you're gonna have to change it. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah,
what again the flexible thing of D&D is.
yeah, no, absolutely. Because, yeah, I know what you mean. Like, I have heard horror stories of, like, bad campaign. You know, it's like, it sounds like an American reality TV show where it's like, D&D campaign's gone wrong. And it's like, people who, I think is the term min-max. And don't get me wrong, like, nothing, there's nothing wrong with, like, playing your character, like, to be, like, to be, I don't want to say useful, but to be able to like combat things and things like that. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, and again, there's like nothing, no wrong way to play D&D. But I know there are some people who, as you said, they prefer the rules and they kind of focus only on that. But beyond that, it's like they don't interact with the other players. And I feel as if like they're kind of missing a trick there, but I mean, personally for me, I would definitely say as a player, definitely the role playing aspect. Because again, it's like a social. It is. It's definitely a social game. Actually, so yeah, just before we finish, yeah. So S Banks, I'm sure Craig's sessions were how I met you, Satsunami. I think it actually is. I think you're right. Okay, so last one. Green Shield saying, do either of you watch slash listen to any content like Critical Role, D20 Fantasy High, or NADPod? I don't actually know what that last one is, but I mean personally for me, no. Short answer, no, I don't personally. Not in a bad way. Like I'm not saying like, oh, I don't want to listen to that. Oh, but it's more because I don't know. It's something that I never really got into, and I feel as if it is something that, especially for things like Critical Role, if you had to like put all your time into, or not that you had to put your time, but it's like because there's so much content. So yeah, personally
Yeah, my
from
bad. Um,
no, that's okay. So sorry, I'll let you
just while
answer
I'm
that.
back, yeah, is this the watch and listen to content by any
Yeah,
chance?
yeah, yeah.
Yep. So I used to listen to Critical Role, but then I just got a bit sad because I kept wanting to steal stuff, and I was like, hope my players don't watch or listen to Critical Role, and I'm like stealing the stuff, and like, sounds really familiar.
Yeah.
So no, I don't really watch too much now. I tried the Critical Role. They started like a new season that was really good. Like they ended all the characters and started new ones. So I'd recommend that to people.
Yeah.
Apart from that, there's tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of D&D podcasts online or on Twitch. So check them out as well. There's like independent ones. Just go on Twitter and have a look.
Sorry, I just always remember one of the funny things. I think it was when I was going through Instagram one day, and someone had done a cosplay of one of the characters from Critical Role, and they were like, "Oh, spoilers on the next page," and it was like the same character but with like darker makeup on or something. And I remember looking at that picture, just thinking, "I do not get the reference here." I was just like, "I do not know what the spoiler is," but yeah, thank you all so much for dropping by for the first episode of Chat Tsunami. Honestly, it's actually been
Thank you so much.
pretty amazing. And sorry, just in case you drop out again, do you want to advertise where we can find you in the future?
Yeah, apologies for dropping out so much. That's
No, not at
frustrating
all.
and not a great advert for my own stuff. I promise I don't drop out so much. You can find me on Twitch, I guess, but mainly find me on Twitter at Beer and Chill Pod and on Instagram.
Yeah.
I'll throw them into the chat or the Discord or something. But yeah, you can catch me on Twitter under those names, or also Craig Ali Martin on Twitter. Yeah, it's all from me.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, no problem.
It's been
Thank you.
great. Been a lot of fun.
No, thank you for coming on. And yeah, seriously, guys, if you get the chance, like, check out the Beer and Chill podcast. I'm not saying this because I've been on it, but genuinely, it is such a fun podcast to, like, I mean, even be a part of. Because I was on I think it was like the PlayStation 1's 20th celebration one, was it? I think.
25th, I
Or
think, this
25th,
year, but
sorry.
yeah.
Yeah. God, God, I'm old.
Where did the time go?
But yeah, I was on that, and it was like a blast, like
It
taking
was a lot
part
of
in
fun.
it. And in all honesty, like the rest of them, I mean, you guys talk about like so many subjects. Like I think what was the recent one you did?
This week we spoke to another podcast, the Horgasm podcast. They're massive horror fans. We just chatted about Halloween. It was really interesting. It was kind of like they're both from Canada. I've grew up in Scotland, and Jan, my co-host, is from Czech Republic. So hearing all the different backgrounds in Halloween, it was actually really cool. So I'd recommend checking it out. Come out every Monday at 2 o'clock, and next week we're doing sort of like ghost and horror stories from around the world as well. So kind of same idea from the different backgrounds four of us come from. So yeah, recommend checking it out. Obviously I would, it's my show, but
Yeah.
yeah, please do. Don't check it out. I don't want you to now. Please check it out.
Is that reverse psychology at the end there?
Yeah, exactly.
No, please don't.
Don't check out my show. It'd be so embarrassing.
Oh no, the horror.
Check out my show.
But no, seriously, guys, check it out. It is an awesome podcast, and you'll probably see me
Thank you.
retweeting a lot like about it. But genuinely, it is awesome. Just reading the comments just before we check out. Blowfish saying, "Listening to y'all while I build a new drawer." That is actually awesome. That is a genuine compliment. Thank you so much. And yeah, Jan saying, "I can only recommend Beer and Chill podcast." Yeah, that is awesome.
Geeky boy.
Yeah.
That's my co-host, Jan.
Yeah.
I say co-host, their host, Jan.
The
I'm
host,
the
yeah.
co-host.